fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Razor Crest from the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron from Jazwares. So obviously this is the main ship of the Mandalorian. Well, at least for the first two seasons. They haven't made his second ship yet. But we do get three figures here. We have Din Djarin, which is the Mandalorian. We have Greef Karga, and we have Grogu, aka Baby Yoda. So very cool to get three figures with this one. Over here we have some really cool artwork of the Razor Crest running away from some X-Wings, or fighting alongside some X-Wings, I can't really tell. Over here just kind of showing off some of the features of the ship. Not really anything going on the top here or the bottom. And then spinning it around to the back, just showing off some more of the features, the opening cockpit, and then the roof and the hatch and everything. So very cool. This one should be a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead, get it out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the Razor Crest out of the packaging. We'll start over here with the three figures first. So first up we have Din Djarin the Mandalorian. And he looks pretty good. This is the later version of Mando when he has his full Beskar armor. I think the helmet looks pretty good. Articulation is the same as all figures. The arms can swivel up, and then he can bend at the waist. He does have the jetpack here with the cape off to the side, and this is actually one solid piece, which you can see just pegs into the back like that. So we will pop that back on. It's very tiny. And I can't, there we go. I was like, I can't find the hole to line it up. Alright, so he looks good. I think they did a nice job with him. Next up we have Greef Karga, aka Carl Weathers, aka Apollo Creed. He looks pretty good. I think they did a nice job with him. His coat is molded well. Paint applications are nice. I think the head sculpt is decent for such a tiny figure. He can bend at the waist, but he doesn't seem to want to. There we go. So yeah, pretty cool little figure there as well. And then, of course, everyone's favorite, Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, comes in his little pram, and he comes with this cool little display stand. So you don't don't have him sitting on the floor. And this just unpegs, so it's very simple to just peg him right on there. And he's very, very tiny, but I feel like the sculpt work is pretty good. The paint applications are nice. All in all, he is pretty good. I will put these figures off to the side for the moment so we can take a look at the Razor Crest itself. First thing to do is come down underneath and deploy the landing gear. So this pops out like so. And then we have another one right next to it. And then there is this large one here in the front. And then you can have it on the landing gear. Very solid. I mean, obviously, if you tap back here, it's going to fall, but it's really no problem standing on its own. I think the ship looks fantastic. A lot of intricate molded detail there. Few paint applications here on the side look pretty good. You have paint applications for the engines, which look really good. All in all, really, really solid. Coming here to the cockpit, this opens like so. We can take Mando, and unlike Boba Fett in his starship, you can actually go ahead and put Mando in here without taking off the backpack, or the jetpack. He will fit right in his seat, still wearing the jetpack. I think that's fantastic. Now you can see here, if I zoom in ever so slightly, and if the light cooperates, there are two seats molded in here, but then there's also this little peg spot right here. So basically what you can do, take Grogu off of his little display stand, and instead peg him onto this little podium right here, which is a little easier said than done. But we can go ahead and peg him on there, and then there you go. He is riding right behind Mando. Now when you do that, it kind of renders the other two seats, you know, worthless. They can't be used. But if we can get Grogu out of here, which again is a little easier said than done, I find it kind of hard to get a finger in there to get him out. There we go, we'll use gravity. So you can take the other figures if you don't have Grogu pegged in, and then they can sit here in the two seats. Just like that. So you can hold up to three characters in here, three figures, if you don't peg Grogu in, but if you have Grogu, then he kind of takes up the space of the other two seats. So you can have either Mando and Grogu, or Mando and two others. I guess you could try to wedge... Actually, okay, you could kind of wedge him in there. So you can kind of get all three. It's just not as secure. It's not as centrally located. I do appreciate that they have the spot to peg him in, but then you can also just use the seats if you like. So that's pretty cool. And then we'll just shake this till they all come out. Hooray! Okay, put this off to the side. Over here, we have the ramp on the side, which opens up. And you're not going to be able to see anything in there until I come over here and remove the roof. This whole roof section does come off. So I kind of like to push it back a little bit. Let me zoom out here. I kind of push it back a little bit because it's got kind of a connector right here. And then once you push it back a little bit, you can kind of pop your finger in there, and then this whole section comes off. So you can really get a nice look at the interior here. You can also pop this ramp down as well. And then also this panel on the side here comes off for some reason. I'm going to close that before I accidentally break that off. And this one is very difficult to pop out. There we go. So this panel comes off, and this has some molded detail as well. You have some like duffel bags and whatnot here hung on the wall, which is kind of cool. But this is nice because you can really get in here and see everything now with all these open areas. So, you can see, if I zoom in here, he has a weapons rack. That's all molded in there. This is just the wall that would be the door that leads up to the cockpit, but that doesn't open or anything. And then you can see, if I can get the light to cooperate, you can see the weapons rack in there. There is this little section here that opens up. And I'm assuming this is supposed to be like the carbon freezing thing, because you can put a character in here. So let's freeze Grief. So you pop him in there, and then you close this down. And I guess that's supposed to be like he's carbon freezing him. And then you do have one victim, or one bounty, as I guess it is, already carbon frozen. And this does move around. I don't know what purpose that serves to move it around, but I guess if you wanted to put a figure somewhere, he has the ability to move around. I'm trying to really zoom in so you can see this guy. See the detail. So that's pretty cool. Let me take Grief out of there. It just falls right out the front. So when you have the landing gear deployed, all the ramps come down to the appropriate length, which is nice. I like that a lot. And then you have this panel here that I'm not really sure why this comes off, but it does. Let me lift this up. So this lifts up. I guess just in case you wanted to pretend like he's doing maintenance or something like that, but there's some nice molded in detail there. So you can take a look at that. And then you just pop this back on like so. I do not have that connected in correctly. Okay, 3D review. So you can pop this in there, two little spots. There you go. Make sure the pegs align, and then bring this down. It should click into place. I feel like it clicked in better when those pegs weren't lined up. That's very strange. I do not... Oh, no, I guess we do. We have the same over here. I thought it was only the one, but I believe it's on both. Also, you could kind of simulate that scene where, like, the Jawas are scrapping, salvaging the Razor Crest for parts. I think this comes off, yes. Maybe this one doesn't, actually. It looks kind of like it should, but it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. You can see the seam there, and it looks like you can, but I believe it's only this one. There's also a little spot right here, so if you have... Where's the backpack? If you want to put the jetpack on here, it's much simpler, again, simpler than Boba Fett's starship, to peg this in. You can either kind of drop it down the channel or just peg it in from the front. If I can line this up, there you go. So you can hang the jetpack there. Again, much easier to get at than with Boba Fett's starship, so I appreciate that. And then we can close this up. And then put this panel back on the front, just kind of drop it in here, and then clicks into place. I feel like it's getting easier to remove that each time. The first time was kind of difficult, but it's getting easier and easier. And then this, you just drop back on top and then kind of close it around the back. But it's a really cool looking ship. I've always liked this ship. I was kind of bummed, spoilers, when they got rid of it on the show, because I always thought this was a really cool ship. And I'm happy to have it in this line. I think it looks really good. I think this really works. I like the options here for the cockpit. So we'll put those guys in there. We'll peg Grogu in like this. And close that up. And then you can really just kind of come around to the side if you have the extra characters, and you can just pop them in here. I mean, there's tons of empty space in here, so you really can store all that stuff in there, no problem. But yeah, it's really cool. I like this one a lot. Honestly, this might be one of my favorites from the line so far. It looks fantastic. I love the figures that it comes with. It's got a lot of parts that open up, so you can really check out the inside unencumbered, which I really appreciate, because my biggest complaint about this line is because everything's so tiny and intricate, sometimes it's hard to get, your fingers into different places to move things around. But this has so many access points that you really can get a lot of light in there to see the detail, and also, get around to move characters around and things like that. So I think that's really cool. This one's fantastic. I definitely recommend checking it out. I think I got this one from Amazon. I think this is an Amazon exclusive. There is another version of this that is exclusive to Walmart that looks slightly different. Apparently it's got some small cutouts in like the panels here, and I think this panel here, to make it look like it's like a little, not weathered, but kind of like panels are missing. I think it might have a slightly different paint job, and it does come with some different characters. It comes with Mando again, but then I think it comes with the one Jawa, and I forget the guy's name. The first guy he meets up with, the little Ugnaught dude, and I apologize that I don't know his name. I should. But I believe it comes with those three figures. So it's a very similar version of the Razor Crest with different figures and a slightly different aesthetic look to it. But whichever one you decide to pick up, I definitely recommend picking up one of them, because I think this is a really fun entry into the line, and I think it looks really fantastic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.